Constitution of India Part 3. Guys, this is the third lecture on the series of lectures on the Constitution of India. In this lecture, we will discuss about the Constitution and Government of India. All pillars of state receive their powers from Constitution and are bound by it. It means all pillars of state in India, they are either legislature, executive or judiciary. They get their powers directly from Constitution and they are bound to follow those rules which they get from Constitution. India is governed by parliamentary system of government with executive directly accountable to the legislature. That is, executive is answerable to legislature. Executive is chosen from parliament and they are answerable to the parliament. According to the Constitution of India, President has two basic functions. The article number 52 and 53 gave the power to the President as the head of executive branch, and according to the article number 60, he is custodian of Constitution, that his duty is to preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of India and law. So according to the Constitution of India, President is having two basic functions. There are two basic functions of President, that is, he is the executive head of executive branch, and he is responsible for preserving, protecting and defending the Constitution of India and law. And article number 73 provides for Prime Minister as head of the Council of Ministers, and which acts and advises the President in performance of their constitutional duties. This article number 73, made President as a ceremonial head of the state because he is bound to follow the advices and suggestions, recommendations made by Prime Minister, who is head of the Council of Ministers, that is the cabinet. This Council of Ministers is answerable to lower house, that's Lok Sabha, under article number 75(3). So the actual powerhouse in India is the Parliament. Because how? See guys, President is the head of the executive branch and he is bound to follow the orders or follow the recommendations and suggestions, advices of Prime Minister, right? And Prime Minister is bound to follow the recommendations of Council of Ministers, and Council of Ministers is bound to follow lower house, the Parliament. So in this way, the actual powerhouse is the Parliament. Now guys, let's see whether Indian Constitution is a federal constitution or a unitary constitution. The Constitution of India is considered federal in nature and unitary in separate because it had got both features, the features of federal constitution as well as the features of unitary constitution. Indian Constitution is a codified constitution, supreme constitution, a three-tier government structure, and especially the division of powers, bicameralism and independent judiciary. These features make the Indian Constitution a federal constitution. Especially guys, remember the division of powers, because the division of powers is the main feature of a federal constitution, and that's present in Indian Constitution. In Indian Constitution, powers are clearly divided between central government, and the state government and the union territory. So this feature made the Indian Constitution purely a federal constitution. However, it had got so many features which made this Indian Constitution a unitary constitution. For example, single citizenship, an integrated judiciary, a flexible constitution, a strong central government, and the appointment of state governors by central government, all India services, emergency provisions. These all powers are held by central government, right? And there is single citizenship. These features made the Indian Constitution a unitary constitution, especially the strong central government. That it has the power to appoint the state governors. They make indirectly the state governments under the central government. This is the feature of a unitary constitution. So Indian constitution, which is the longest constitution in the world as well, has the both features. It's federal in nature and unitary in separate. So we call this constitution a quasi-federal constitution. So Indian constitution is neither federal constitution nor unitary constitution. Rather, it is quasi-federal constitution. Now guys, state and union territories. State and union territories are political units or the political divisions of India. Each state and union territory has its own government. Analogous to the president and prime minister, each has governor, or in union territories there is a lieutenant governor and chief minister. That is, there is a government in state, there is a government in union territory, separate governments in all states, separate governments in all union territories, and state government is ruled by governor and union territory is ruled by a lieutenant governor and a chief minister. The President's Rule Article 356 permits the President to dismiss the state government and assume direct authority. Although there are some legal limitations to this rule, but this rule, that's the Article 356 of President's Rule of India, made the President a powerful body, a strong person having the power to dismiss the state government and assume the powers directly. However, there is a legal check on it. That was after the S.R. Bamani versus Union of India case. This was a constitutional case that was, and the decision was made by Supreme Court of India that such an action is difficult because after this case, S.R. Bamani versus Union of India territory, Indian case, the verdict of this case made it difficult for the president to dismiss the state government, because now the court of India had the power to assess this dismissal of state government, right? This is a check on president's power. Panchayati Raj, this is also a special type of government in India. According to the 73rd and 74th Amendment Acts that were introduced in India, the system of Panchayati Raj is introduced in rural areas, and the same type of government is also introduced in urban areas. But in urban areas it's called Nagar Palikas, while in rural areas the same type of government is called Panchayati Raj, right? Article 360 gives special status to Kashmir. Guys, on 5th August 2019 this article was scrapped, but I have added this point here because the scrap of article 370 is under judicial review and it's a case in Supreme Court of India, so we can't say anything unless the court gives its verdict, right? So unless the court gives its verdict, I have added this point here as the article 370, which gives special status to Kashmir. It may be possible while you were listening this lecture the decision was already given, so at that time the last portion of our discussion will be according to the decision, right? But now in this time, this is an article of Indian Constitution. Let's see how court is deciding on this. And thank you for watching. We do have Urdu version of this lecture as well. If you want to listen Urdu, or if you want to watch our Urdu lecture, you can subscribe to our channel. please do subscribe to our channel and like our videos and put your comments. We will consider your comments because it's not possible for me for us to make this channel more informative and more productive without your suggestions. So guys, please do not forget to put your suggestions and subscribe and like this channel.